I'm here falsely accused for a 21-year-old Warren. And I try to speak, and she acts like Judge Judy. She just constantly cuts you off, is threatening. And if you look at the TV show Judge Judy, this is how she acts, Judge. And I'm just being treated like I'm just a criminal. I'm supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? And I would like an investigation as to things that's been going on by the prosecutor's office because Kim Worthy and her subordinates are retaliating against me. There's actual proof. But she has an attitude like Judge Judy. She just cuts you off. And I'm just like, so when she kept doing it, this is when I objected and asked her to recuse her.
All right, guys. Today we're looking at one of the dumbest sovereign citizens we've ever covered. This guy is back in court after a previous preliminary hearing with Judge Martin. And, surprise, surprise, he was spouting the usual sovereign citizen nonsense. He's in full victim mode, going on rants and refusing to stop talking, even after being repeatedly warned. Apparently, he thought Judge Martin was acting like Judge Judy, constantly cutting him off. He even managed to get her recused from the case because of it. This guy was running through the classic sovereign citizen script, and honestly, it's so cringe you have to see it to believe it.
Sir.
Colonel Michael McQuarrie, appearing in propria persona.
All right. It's my understanding, sir, you filed a motion to have Judge Bryant disqualified from the case. Judge Bryant denied your motion, and essentially your motion was appealed up to the chief judge, which is me. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Okay. Argument.
Well, the argument is, sir, under Michigan Code of Judicial Conduct, the judge is in violation of Canon 1 and 2 because I'm here falsely accused for a 21-year-old Warren. And I try to speak, and she acts like Judge Judy. She just constantly cuts you off, is threatening, so far as be quiet. Canon 2, it says public confidence in the judiciary is eroded by irresponsible or improper conduct by judges. A judge must avoid all impropriety and appearance of impropriety. A judge must expect to be the subject of constant public scrutiny. A judge must therefore accept restrictions on conduct that might be viewed as burdensome by the ordinary citizen and should do so freely and willingly, Judge. And I come into court very respectful. I'm a 51-year-old man and I respect the system. But I'm feeling that I'm being given, disrespect. I'm being silenced. I mean, I have a right under the free speech to petition the court for redress of grievances and things of that nature. And if you look at the TV show Judge Judy, this is how she acts, Judge. Totally wrong. And she asked me, what did I want to do with the case? I said, I would like to challenge jurisdiction because I went to prison in '02 for 15 years and 8 months. They had under the rule, it's, I believe, for misdemeanors, 40-something days, for felonies, it's 6 months. So I request that the prosecutor prove its authority in bringing these charges so late. And I have been home 6.5 years, productive in the community, no problems. And I'm trying to do right, Judge. I made past mistakes when I was a young man. And I'm just being treated like I'm just a criminal. I'm supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? So I'm not trying to disrupt this court. I'm not trying to cause you guys hardships or anything, things of that nature. And my due process is being violated, Judge. That's all. I want to just get this case so it wouldn't be left alone. I'm a grandfather. I have children. And their DPD has retaliated against me, Judge. And I know this is a Detroit police court. And I would like an investigation as to things that's been going on by the prosecutor's office because Kim Worthy and her subordinates are retaliating against me. There's actual proof.
So basically, what this genius is saying is, hey, the prosecutor was just doing their job trying to send me back to prison. So, can you just dismiss the whole thing? I'm a grandfather. I have kids. Come on, cut me some slack. Seriously? We're not buying it, buddy. Judges don't just hand out free passes because you have grandkids. That's not how the justice system works. Judge Martin is a solid judge. She's not holding any kind of grudge against him for being a former criminal. She's got a job to do, just like everyone else. And that job is to make sure justice is served, not to cave because someone tries playing the sympathy card. What do you guys think of this guy so far? Is he actually onto something, or is he just trying to tug at the judge's heartstrings to dodge accountability? Let's dive back in.
At this point, I don't know if you're familiar with Bill Proctor. He's representing me in this matter and another matter so far as investigations for years of, hardships and tyranny committed against me by the system here in Wayne County. So this is all I want: a fair shake judge, a judge who's going to give me due process and give me what I'm entitled to according to law. And that's it, sir.
Okay. Ms. Ritter, would you like to respond in any way?
Judge, the only response that people have is that this is a case from 2002. It's a misdemeanor assault and battery case. Judge, from my recollection of the prior hearing with Judge Bryant, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it was an arraignment process. And as the court was trying to proceed with the process, I do remember Mr. McCreary interrupting the judge while she was trying to make the record. But the people have not gotten to the point where, because Mr. Carnell was disruptive during the proceedings, the people didn't get to the point where there was another pretrial date set where the people could actually see if we're able to move forward on this 2002 case, Judge.
May I have a rebuttal?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, I would like you, if it's possible, I know you guys are on Zoom, so you should have access to recordings of these hearings and things of that nature. I believe that the prosecutor just fabricated facts to you because I was not rude to this lady. All I asked her is, she said, what do you want to be done with this case? I said, I would like to challenge jurisdiction. And Michigan and federal law requires once jurisdiction is challenged, it must be proven. How is it that the prosecutor knows statute of limitations? They're licensed. I'm not licensed. I've studied for years in prison. And they don't know that there's a statute of limitations. This is vindictive prosecution because of my complaints against Kim Worthy, Your Honor. And the record will reflect the evidence. And I object to her statements.
All right. Court having had a chance to hear the arguments of the moving party, as well as the arguments of the prosecutor. The moving party is asking for a recusal or to have Judge Bryant disqualified based on Michigan Canons 1 and 2, based on that she is biased, as well as is not allowing a person to be able to basically argue their case. The moving party is stating that he wants to challenge jurisdiction and that he was not allowed to do so. The prosecutor is stating that there was only a proceeding at an arraignment and that the prosecution hasn't even got to the point where they have established whether they want to move forward with the case, but that was not allowed to happen because in their view, there was disruption in the court and there was a breakdown.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that if this guy had just kept his mouth shut and let the judge do her job, she probably would have arraigned him, and there was a good chance she would have just dismissed the case. I mean, come on, it happened over 22 years ago. Like seriously, why is this dude even here right now? What did he think he was gaining by constantly interrupting the judge, especially when she was on the verge of doing him a favor? All because he wanted to challenge her jurisdiction. Dude, what are you doing? Honestly, these sovereign citizens make things so much harder for themselves. It's like trying to reason with a brick wall. And knowing Judge Bryant? She's reasonable. If the case is that old, she probably would have tossed it out. But no, this guy had to go full sovereign mode and talk himself into a worse situation. I don't get it. Do you? Let me know in the comments. Is this guy just clueless, or is there something deeper going on in that tinfoil-covered brain of his? Anyway, let's get back into it and watch the rest of this mess unfold.
The moving party is disputing that. He's saying that I could go to the video or the tapes to dispute that. At this time, the court is not going to make a decision at this point. I am going to pull the tape, pull the transcript. I'm going to make a decision very quickly on this. I'm not going to let this continue. And even based on, the court does have an opinion probably on the likelihood of prosecution on a 21-year-old case. So we're going to come back on, we're going to come back on July 6th at 10 a.m. Please check your schedule, sir.
May I also, you say July 6th, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
May I also if I may,
No,
Judge?
check your schedule first. Check your schedule to see if are you available for that time.
I'm available. I'm stuck here on tether, sir. I'm available at any time you guys want me to.
Okay, all right. Well, put it on your schedule for 10 o'clock on July 6th.
Okay, can I say one more thing? If you look at Crampton versus Michigan Department of State 395, Michigan 347 at 351, it says the United States Supreme Court disqualified judges and decision makers without a showing of actual bias in situations where experience teaches that the probability of actual bias on the part of the judge or decision maker is too high to be constitutionally tolerable. And I'm not saying like trying to attack Judge Brian or whatever else, but she has an attitude like Judge Judy. She just cuts you off. And I'm just like, so when she kept doing it, this is when I objected and asked her to recuse herself.
And sir, and again, as the chief judge, I don't have to have a showing of actual bias, but perceived bias, something in the fairness of justice. That is my stand.
Yeah, the chief judge is definitely going to have a long, hard think about this one. I mean, seriously, it'll probably take this guy like 2 minutes to realize he was clearly in the wrong. Just full-on sovereign citizen mode, interrupting the judge, being rude, and making the whole situation way worse than it needed to be. This dude really needs to get a grip. That's just not how the justice system works. I'm sure he thinks the judge was biased just because she didn't immediately let him off the hook, but let's be real, he didn't even give her a chance to finish. Ironically, she probably was going to dismiss the case since it was so old. But nope, sovereign citizen logic strikes again. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see the full video. I'll probably be posting the full court hearing with Judge Martin sometime this week, so stay tuned for that. These sovereign citizens, man, they just can't help themselves. They act like they're above the law, like they found some secret loophole. But when it all falls apart, it's honestly kind of hilarious. Like, who do they think they are? They're not going to win this fight. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this one. I'll be posting the next video soon, so keep an eye out. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate all your support. Take care, everybody.